So I never really liked Ant-Man in the comic books. Because in the comic books I would read, Hank Pym was Ant-Man. And Hank Pym in the comics is abusive and mentally unstable and all around just so unlikable. So when Marvel takes this abusive, unlikable character and they decide to make a movie about him, what do? They turn him into a cranky old man, and then they slip in Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. Problem solved. Hank Pym is a cranky old man, and now he's my favorite character in the movies. The plot! Scott Lang is dealing with the consequences of helping out Captain America in the Civil War. He's under house arrest, Hank Pym doesn't like him, Hope Van Dyne doesn't like him. Circumstances lead to Hank and Hope needing Scott to get into the quantum realm, to help them out in the quantum realm. And Scott agrees, and some villains happen, and shit gets pretty fucking funny. Paul Rudd! I am a big fan of Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, even better. His comedic timing is perfect. He's great for comic relief. And what I like about this character is that he's very clear about his values. He's naturally selfless. All of his actions, in one way or another, are to help other people. And this creates conflict as far as prioritizing family and being Ant-Man. And he has a fair share of that conflict throughout the whole movie. Awesome Ant-Man. Love Scott Lang. Evangeline Lilly. Now Hope is a superhero too. She's the Wasp. And in this, she gets to step out on the battlefield and kick some ass. And she does. She kicks the most ass in this movie, and she's the best at it. And she's got some mixed feelings about Scott coming back into her life. Hank Pym! He's the crabby old man genius, and like the best part of this movie. And I love him. I just love him. Michael Douglas has harnessed this character and just made it his. And in a lot of ways, he's the funniest person in the movie. I love old Hank Pym. There's a bunch of other characters that show up in this movie that you know and you love. And there's a villain too. Well, there's a few villains, but I'm not going to spoil anything. I ain't about that life. Overall, I thought this movie was awesome. It's probably not as good as the first. This movie really is a comedy, and it's hilarious. I laughed a lot. It's really funny. I thought all the characters were awesome. The story was fun. I love seeing the creativity with the shrinking and the growing. When it came to the shrinking and the growing, the action was awesome. The villain was a bit predictable, but they did a good job at making you sympathize with them. There are a ton of jokes in this, and there are so many jokes that some of them didn't land for me. I didn't find everything funny. There's one particular ant that they used specifically for humor that I just didn't like. I'm sure some people will. I didn't. The science. The science is too smart for me. So I didn't question it. They just say their science shit about quantum realms, and I go, okay. Overall, it's a very fun, cool movie. It fits really well into that Marvel landscape. At the heart of this movie, though, it really is a family film. And there's no one better at doing family films than Disney. Rapid Fire Review. Subscribe!